Today, I'd like to talk to y'all. Actually, as you can see, it's nighttime, so I should say it tonight. I want to talk to y'all about the movie Power Ballad, which I saw today. This is a movie that I found enjoyable, but I have some caveats, and what I'm going to talk about involves the movie, but it also involves because it's gotten harder and harder for me to ignore these kinds of things. It also involves the kind of things that we find in movies, in media in general today. That these sort of subtle overtones of propaganda that creep in, even when it's not the emphasis of the story. Um, and they creep in this movie in some interesting ways that again I'm going to mention. But let me first say the name of the movie is Power Ballad. I think I said that a moment ago. It stars Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd. And what makes it most interesting are a couple of things. It's a movie about the pursuit of fame, and it contrasts these two characters. Um, Compares and contrasts these two characters, one of whom has achieved fame, but it's come at a price. It's Nick Jonas, who I don't know if he's acted in anything before, but he's pretty good in this. He's the former member of a boy band, but it's 10 years ago, and all the other pretty much everyone else who was in his boy band has gone on a solo career, but he's sort of been stagnant, and people are wondering what's up with this guy, this one guy in the boy band who is stuck, who hasn't been able to progress into having a solo career. Um, so he's looking for inspiration, and and the movie is also about Paul Rudd's character, who's this now over the hill guy. Although he's still Paul Rudd, he's still incredibly handsome, and I've got to say the least well, he's of all of all Hollywood, of all Jewish Hollywood stars. He and Paul Newman are the two that could best pass as you know people that you would never guess were of that ethnic persuasion. That's neither here nor there. It's just sort of an interesting fun fact. But Paul Rudd's character is somebody who has never achieved fame. He has talent, he has skill, and at one time when he was younger, he was kind of grinding it out, and he was maybe close to getting winning some fame, but then things stalled, and he met the girl that he later married and became his wife, and he met her and married her in Ireland, and settled in Ireland. Um, and So most of the movie actually takes place, weirdly enough, with two American characters, but in in an Irish setting. So it's half of it's in, I guess I guess Dublin. I'm not sure, but somewhere in Ireland, and half of it's in Southern California. Um, so Rudd's character uh, got got married before he became famous, and then he had a child. And when he had his daughter, he figured I've got to prioritize this. So he still has this kind of wistful um uh, mindset about what could have been. The past that he missed out on. On the other hand, he has a loving wife, and a pretty good life, and a 14-year-old daughter whom he adores, and who we find out eventually that adores him, but it takes a little while for us to actually get to that revelation. And that's actually part of what I want to talk about, my complicated thoughts on this movie. So Paul Rudd's character plays now with this wedding band, uh, and so this is like the wedding singer, I guess. It's uh, another incarnation of a wedding singer, a story of a wedding singer, and he's playing with four other middle-aged guys. They're Irish. He's the American front man, um, and the name of their band is Brides and Grooves, which is amusingly cheesy pun, and just fits the sort of cringy quality that wedding bands, either rightly or wrongly, kind of have, because it's a living, I guess. I guess you can make a living off of it. I don't know, and there's no harm in it. There shouldn't be any stigma attached to it. And this is all the guys in the band are competent musicians, um, and they're they play to they play after weddings, and they make people happy, and there's really nothing wrong with what they're doing. But of course, it's not the same as being a superstar. It's not the same as selling out Madison Square Garden, as Paul Rudd's character once dreamed of doing. So one fateful night, the band plays at this sort of swankier sort of place. I guess one of the either the bride or the groom is I guess it must be the groom, because we find out that the groom's character knows, or is friends with Nick Jonas's character, who is at this wedding, and they ask him to he the groom asks if the band can let him come up and sing a song, and Paul Rudd is rather put off by this because it's his band. Why are you asking this other person, even if he is a famous former boy band star. This is still my band. He's still got some pride of place there. But the band says, look, let let him come up. It's going to be great PR for us. Uh, and so Paul Rudd says, okay, I'll. He reluctantly lets it happen. But Nick Jonas comes up and he's very gracious about it, and he sings their next song, and then has and then invites Rudd to sing along with him, and they sing the song together, and it's you know it they have a great time, and later the young star, or kind of fading star, and the has been and the never was uh, get together, drink a lot of beer, smoke some marijuana, and like uh, jam together, and work on some songs together, and talk about ideas for what to do with this song or that song, and sort of brainstorm together. And to cut a long story short, one of the things that like they each talk about each other's material and stuff that they're both working on, and one of the songs that comes up, the chorus is or most of the song is from something that Rudd's character had already written or was working on. He has to leave, though. He says, I've got to get back to my family and stuff, and so Nick's character adds a bridge. There needs to be a bridge, he thinks, to that song. So he adds a bridge, and then later he goes back to L.A. Back to talk to his agent in his spacious office, um, and he says to his agent, I've got this collection of songs, and his agent sort of tells him, the songs are nice, but there's not a hit there really, and nobody's going to really want to. This project isn't going to go anywhere. None of the labels are going to want to pick this up unless you have a hit on this album. And so then we cut back to Ireland, wherever it is in Ireland, 6 months later, and suddenly this song that Rudd's character wrote mostly is he's hearing it in shopping malls, and it's getting all these hits on Spotify, and it's becoming this big hit, and he realizes that this guy who he liked and was nice to him, and who he thought he could trust, and has basically stolen the song from him. Now, part of the song is the bridge, which Nick Jonas's character added to the song, but the rest of it's all Rudd's song. But he has nothing to show for it. He can't prove that that's the case. So he's pretty pissed off about this, pretty upset about this, and tries to contact Nick Jonas, but doesn't get anywhere. Ends up getting routed to his agent or his manager, who just sort of strong arms him and threatens him and says, "Look, you've got to drop this, or else we're gonna, you're gonna be sorry," that kind of thing. And so he decides, in a drunken fit, in a drunken stupor, he's gone from being this happy, if wistful, family man to kind of, being this angry and obsessed. And it's funny, it's lighthearted, but that's basically what's happening in the story. And so he and one of the guys in the band, who's always been his pal, who's like always taking his side on everything, and just sort of his lapdog, whether he wants him to be or not. It's just sort of what this other guy has become. He gets him to go with him to L.A. to try to confront Nick Jonas's character, and there's a couple of abortive efforts to do so, but eventually they do confront him, or Rudd confronts Jonas once again, and this time it's on Jonas's turf, and I won't spoil what happens from there, but I will say that the movie has a very enjoyable and emotional payoff. There's a payoff that's emotional without being schmaltzy or maudlin, and I am a big I'm very sensitive to when they try to jerk at your heartstrings or try to tear at your tear ducts, those kinds of manipulations that, where it's not come by honestly. It's kind of easy to do. There's lots of ways to manipulate people's emotions very cheaply, but this movie does it in a way that's that's surprising, and it's moving as well, and it demonstrates the bond that Rudd's character actually has with his family, and particularly not just with his wife, but particularly with his daughter. We find out that the song that he wrote that Jonas's character thought was a love song, a romantic love song, was actually about written about Rudd's daughter. Um, so and even again, I won't give away the ending. I don't want to give everything away because it's a good enough movie that if you want to see it, I think you should be able to see it and have the pleasure of getting to enjoy that ending for yourself. It's kind of a feel good ending, but not a cheesily feel good ending. I'll say it that way, which I respect and I can admire that. Now, for the things I was talking about a few minutes ago, um, I guess this is sort of the end of the movie review per se, and the beginning of discussion of uh, how there's propaganda in even in movies that aren't really don't really have much to do with propaganda. There's just incidental propaganda. They just have to throw little things in, and this movie is less guilty of this than a lot of other movies, and maybe the movie biz is in general moving away from really pandering DEI kind of stuff. It seems like we've kind of past the peak woke phase, but it's still there. And in this movie, there's a couple of little things, like the first wedding that they play to is it's in Ireland, and it's a mixed couple. It's a white woman and a light skinned black man. He's the guy who's actually friends with the Nick Jonas character. Again, I don't really care about things like that, but when it's in a movie, when it's one of like the four, maybe uh, I don't know if there's three or four. I think there's maybe four weddings that we see them playing at total. One of them is a mixed race wedding, and one of them is a lesbian wedding, and then one of them, at least one of them, is a normal wedding. But I mean, that's those kinds of things. It's like, okay, I know there will be people who will say that I'm not most of my listeners, but I know there will be people out there who will say you're just being a party pooper. You're just you're just so obsessed with hunting for woke stuff that you just can't enjoy anything anymore. And honestly, I don't want to talk about woke stuff. I don't. And I don't care about DEI casting, provided that it's kept to a minimum and doesn't get in the way, doesn't become distracting. So those little things are there, but there's also other little things, like there's a joke that makes reference to global warming. That's completely egregious. That has nothing to do with anything. And the most disturbing thing is the involves the daughter. Now, early on in the movie, the daughter character, who's this 14-year-old girl, just seems like a complete uh, wretch. Just seems like an unappreciative brat. Um, and he tries to he plays a song for her that he asks her what she thinks about it, and she says something like, look, da, women aren't like that anymore. We're not looking for love. We're not lonely. Uh, you know, and he asks, well, what are you looking for? Revenge. And this is supposed to be funny. And I was just like, oh God. Um, like this kind of angry BPD, uh, you know, anti-male crap, has to intrude. And it's supposed to be funny to see this 14-year-old has been taken in by this stuff. Um, and she just asked, can you take me to a party at so and so's house? And so she seems just. And there's another scene where she says he and his friend are talking, and she just mumbles to himself, "Fucking idiots." Like saying that about her own father, it just seems really, really disrespectful. And again, it's supposed to be funny, but I just had a hard time seeing past that. Now, after Rudd's character kind of disgraces himself and is making a mess of things, and his wife says, you need to you need I need to spend a few days away from you, uh, because this is getting out of hand. He's getting drunk. He's getting angry. He crashes their car. Uh, intentionally, but because the song is on the radio and the daughter is playing it just to taunt him, which also is supposed to be funny, but why do that? You know, he's your father. You should be on his side. And then after this happens, she suddenly is on his side. In the latter part of the movie, when we find out that the song is about her, uh, she's, she writes him and says, "I believe you, da." And, so we see that she actually, this little shit actually has a heart of gold and not shit. And there's a gold heart within that shitty personality. And interestingly, that found so moving about the ending, because I can relate. I have a daughter too. I can, and I have a son. It's just about children. The love you feel about towards your children, and how it makes it worthwhile. It makes every sacrifice worthwhile. You it's no question. I never had to make the choice between fame and my kids, but if I were to choose one or the other, it would be absolutely be my kids, and every good parent knows that, feels that in their bones. And that's what makes the end of the movie so moving. But I just wonder why they had to make her character so unlikable before that, and like a proto fourth wave feminist, uh, anti-male, Sabrina Carpenter kind of listener, kind of person. Um, it just seemed like another element of the propaganda that I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm going to bring this to an end because I've got low storage and this is going to turn off on its own. So that's my review and my commentary, my extended commentary on Power Ballad. Let me know what you think.